What is going on with Rain? Everything else is going down, but Rain is massively outperforming. What's driving this rally? Who is buying here? Who is selling here? Let's have a look at the on-chain data, the data most people are not considering. Rain is up so much that it moved entire categories. So the options category, the prediction market category, the gambling category, that's all pushed up because of Rain. Here is what's going on. There's a Nasdaq listed company that is now using the Rain token as a treasury asset. So apparently the treasury company story hasn't yet been completely told. There's Enlivex, a biotech company that's now raising $212 million to buy the Rain token. Here is the price development of that stock. It seems like this strategy was not born out of opportunistic ideas, but rather out of desperation. The stock hasn't moved that much. It's just the Rain token that's getting pushed up. Rain is a competitor to Polymarket, and there are potential arbitrage opportunities. For example, here it still costs 26% if both Bitcoin hits 150k and Ethereum 7k by end of this year. I think this is overpriced. We could even look at the options market and see what the fair price of that bet should be. So this is a potential opportunity. I have a look at this bet. Will Rain's official X account have over or under 250,000 followers by the end of this month? Now, most people say it's likely going to have less than 250k subscribers. We are currently at 42,000 subscribers. But that's a potential problem with a prediction market like this, right? We could simply just buy up the yes vote on this and then use bots, use some farm accounts to push up this number artificially. So there are ethical and unethical ways to make money with those markets. And of course, if a prediction market isn't yet as developed, if it doesn't have as much liquidity, the inefficiencies tend to be higher, or the percentage gains to be made can be quite significant, even though it will be on a lower US dollar amount, of course. Polymarket also has its inefficiencies, but at least here we can deploy some meaningful capital. For example, a while back, I got into this here. Will Satoshi move any Bitcoin this year? And of course, I bought the no bet and got some return on that. I'm still holding that, by the way. But yeah, the problem with the Rain platform is that there's still not much liquidity in it. And so it's quite strange to see a Nasdaq company committing more than $200 million on a platform that has only 1.7 million of total value locked. If you're getting value out of this content so far, then feel free to give this a like. You can also subscribe because I publish videos regularly. Of course, any support is very much appreciated. It will help the channel grow. We can see those individual bets, right? They only have a few $1,000s worth of trading volume. Polymarket, on the other hand, has 270 million of total value locked. Now the spike that we see here with the subsequent crash, that was the bet whether or not Donald Trump will become president. So it was simply just an unwinding of a very large bet, but the growth in Polymarket seems to be quite steady. It's very likely that it's going to hit new all-time highs in the not so distant future. It's actually quite fascinating that there hasn't been any real competition to Polymarket just yet. Will Rain be that competition? Who knows? But let's have a look at the on-chain data first. So there are 13,000 holders of the Rain token on Arbitrum, but there are only 223 wallets that hold more than $1,000 worth of the token. So that's 125,000 tokens. If you go at 10x from that, so 1.2 million tokens or $10,000, there are only 72 such wallets. If you go another 10x, so $100,000, that's 44 wallets. So this is very much a token that's driven by the whales. There's no perpetual futures market, there's only the spot market, and the spot market is pushed by a few heavyweights. And those heavyweights tended to rather sell off the token up until the recent announcement of this $200 million commitment. Now, I've got my doubts looking at all of that data. $200 million worth of commitment looks quite impressive and the price is going up, but this is not organic. I want to see organic development. I want to see this money flowing into the platform. I want to see trading activity on the platform. I have too much concerns that the whales will dump again, that this is just a stint to short-term push up the price, and maybe in the end those 200 million will never flow. Still, if your crypto portfolio isn't that large, if you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to move, if you try to find alpha in a market where you're just deploying $50 here, $100 there, it's maybe not the best to buy the Rain token. It's maybe better to look for pricing inefficiencies on the Rain platform. A small platform like this still has a lot of odds that are not fairly priced. It's of course important to have proper risk management in place, but if you use, for example, options pricing to figure out what's actually the fair odds for a bet like this, then maybe there is some rather quick money to be made. If you have, of course, a bit more money to move, then feel free to check out the premium membership of this channel. This is also where I shared the polymarket bet, whether or not Satoshi will move the Bitcoin, where you made relatively quick, easy money. So if it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in premium. A link to premium pops up here on the screen. See you next time. Cheers.